I put together just a couple of little moves. These are body looseners, so they're not stretches. If you want stretches, check out my post-walking stretches or my yoga videos. But if you want just something that if you've been seated for a little while and you just want to loosen the body back off, you can do these alongside the stretches or just on their own. So we're going to start standing. So a lovely way of opening the body back out, especially if you've been seated, whether it's watching telly or by the computer desk, is to do a Brugger break. So to do that, you take your legs a little bit wider, turn the toes and knees out, take the arms out to the sides, palms forward. From this position, I want you to press the pelvis forward, lift and open the chest. So you're opening up the hips, you're opening up the chest area. You're going to breathe deep, deep into the belly as if you're filling up a balloon. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine you're blowing out a candle on the opposite side of the room. Each time you do it, try and empty your lungs completely. So it helps to use the pelvic floor and use the tummy muscles. So breathe in again. Exhale completely. So draw up pelvic floor, pull the belly button in, really squeeze all the air out to the lungs. And then just breathe naturally. So that's a lovely one to do to really open the body out. If you find that when you're doing it, you're feeling a little bit dizzy or a little bit dizzy, then obviously take a couple of breaths in between each full exhalation, or maybe take those exhalations a little bit smaller. Another nice one to do is to take the legs a little bit wider, either pop the hands on your hips or by your sides, and then some lovely hip circles. So you're still drawing up and pulling in very gently, but you're literally tucking your bottom underneath as you're coming forward and a little arch back. And you're listening to your body, you're not forcing anything. And it's as if you're going around a little tube. I always like to think of a little Smarties tube. I think that's because I'm got a little bit of a sweet tooth, a little bit of a chocolate addict. But you're thinking about going around a little tube inside and then change direction. So really tucking the bottom underneath and then arching it gently back to really loosen off those hips and round that lower back. And then coming one more time around and coming back to centre. Take the legs a little bit wider, turn the toes and knees out, and a little twist side to side, arms swinging loosely, so that the hips move to the right and the left heel lifts, and the hips move to the left and the right heel lifts. And you're just lifting to the chest, the tailbones rooting down. And you're just swinging gently, allowing the body to rotate maybe a little bit further each time. If it's not appropriate for you to move your neck and head, you can keep it facing forward. That gives an extra little bit of torsion through the top of the spine, up into the neck, without getting that dizzying effect as the head moves around. And a couple more of those. And then coming back to a nice neutral position. Some lovely shoulder rolls. Loosening off around the shoulder into the vata scapula that goes from the shoulder blade up into the neck. And you can even add in a little bit of a spinal movement, like a little wave, where you come up tall and then you tuck your bottom end around the spine and come up tall again. You're just accentuating that movement, either just in the shoulders or in the spine as well. Then if you have been on your keyboard, some little fists and opening out and extending to the elbows, little gentle fists again, and then opening out the hands, really spreading, pushing forward and bringing them back. So from the side, I'm extending and opening up the wrists, the hands, the fingers, the elbows, and then coming back. Extending and opening, nice deep breath in. And exhale gently. Nice deep breath in. Exhaling gently. And then maybe some little wrist circles, some little flicks of the fingers. A little mixture, a little infinity symbol maybe. And then a lovely one, you can use the wall for support, or you can do a balance. You can do some little ankle circles, spacing and spreading the toes, changing direction. So the calves get quite tight if we've been seated for a little while, alongside those hip flexors. And then changing feet. So again, you can use it as a little balance, or you can use your wall for support, or a chair, even if you have your chair next to you. Changing direction, spacing and spreading the toes. And then just 2 little stretches, or 3 actually, that I would pop in. Is definitely the hip flexor with the tuck under. And you could even make it into a small, gentle little movement where you're releasing, tucking under, really releasing the hip flexor and then releasing out of it. Tucking under. Just lift up, releasing out. One more time. This is a lovely opener for those hips. Changing sides. So the other leg back, the other leg forward. Pelvis facing your wall. You tuck your bottom under, you bend your knee. Let the chest float up towards the ceiling and then release it off. Tucking under and releasing off. And we're not going too fast. We're just gently easing into the hip. One more, so it's a nice good click from me. And going back into place and coming up nice and tall. Then another little flowy move, just to finish off. A release up, a release over. Coming up nice and tall. Engaging the tummy as you go over. There's a little pull in the belly button. And just once more each side. You could even hold that position and breathe into the waistband and the back. Lifting up tall, releasing over, coming up and finish off with a lovely hamstring and calf stretch. Heel down, curl the toes, push the bottom back and away. So it's not all about the stretches, but this is a nice one to open up the calf, the hamstring, softening that foot, coming up nice and tall, changing legs, making sure that the feet are hip distance apart so you've got that nice base. Bottom's going back behind, curling the toes, opening the calf, the hamstring, and then slowly. So they're not held for long enough to become stretches as such, although they are stretches per se, but not to developmentally stretch, just to open up if you've been a little bit cramped down for a while and you just want to loosen. I hope those are helpful.